Even though presidential candidates are no longer shaking hands and kissing babies, the race for the White House hasn't stopped. Trump campaign is now reaching voters online.
The campaign, like its leader, President Trump, has one gear, and that is forward.
Hey, everybody.
Buenas noches.
Hello and welcome.
Hi, everyone. We have the best data in the country. We have the best infrastructure laid out. And so now we get to capitalize on that data, on this infrastructure, to take our events online to the American public.
You might not see anyone going door to door. Those same volunteers are now making campaign calls from home.
While President Trump is focused on the health and safety of the American people, we here at the campaign are committed to defeating the Democrats, and how all of you at home can help us and join in this fight.
Its online campaign reached more than 1 million viewers.
It really is new age campaigning.
Just let's realize how good Donald Trump's political operation is.
The Trump Organization has a well-documented, robust online infrastructure. You know, what they call their Trump Army.
Tonight, I am honored to launch Catholics for Trump Coalition.
And welcome to our very first Black Voices for Trump online broadcast.
How can women stay engaged and informed?
I could have not felt more proud about this country.
President Trump has done about everything that you can do.
Of Biden's record on notable job-killing trade deals.
I'm supporting NAFTA.
We're so fortunate to have a wartime president to lead us through this global challenge.
And we're going to get through it.
And we are going to keep America great.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Army for Trump Digital Boot Camp. We are excited about this evening's program. I'm Erin, Principal Deputy Communications Director for President Trump's re-election campaign. Joining me tonight, we have a great group of folks who have been going all across the country fighting hard to get President Trump and Republicans re-elected. Joining me tonight, John Pence, Senior Advisor to the Trump campaign. John, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Erin.
Also with us this evening, Elliot Eccles, National Field Director for Trump Victory. Elliot, welcome.
Hey there, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And last but certainly not least, Republican National Committee Co-Chair Tommy Hicks. Tommy, thank you so much for being with us.
Great to be with you.
Let's get this thing started. Ever since the Trump campaign moved completely digital, we have stayed engaged and have put our sophisticated campaign forward into a completely digital atmosphere. We have been able to recruit and bring in new volunteers, even though we're all at home following CDC guidelines for the coronavirus social distancing. It's a completely different look for a presidential campaign, but this campaign was built for this moment, being data and digitally driven since day one. We've been able to bring new folks into the fold with exciting programming like tonight's event. We have original online broadcasting 7 nights a week, from our coalition's departments to something unique like Army for Trump. So we want to stay engaged, and we want you to stay engaged with the Trump campaign and helping elect Republicans all across the country. So let's go ahead and get started. Tommy, I'll start with you. Since we've moved to a completely virtual campaign, what does that look like? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
First of all, it's really impressive what the team and the people around the country have done. We flipped into a virtual operation within 24 hours when it took Joe Biden 4 days to set up a podium in his basement. And since we flipped to virtual, we've added 275,000 new volunteers, and we've made 13 million plus phone calls to reach out to voters. It's really exciting.
That's fantastic. And what are some of the ways that we've been able to continue to build the Army for Trump even while we're apart?
Well, people are signing up at armyfortrump.com. You're able to forward that to your family and your friends and your communities. And we're doing virtual events online just like this. And we're registering voters online and encouraging people to sign up to be neighborhood team leaders and really get involved in their communities.
That's right. It's so important for people to stay engaged here on the campaign. Elliot, You were all across the country as the national field director. Are we still able to recruit, train, and virtually deploy volunteers even from our homes?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like Tommy said, we switched over to a virtual campaign in 24 hours, but we switched it over actually during our national week of training. And we didn't miss a beat. We trained a couple thousand people. We had hundreds of trainings across the country. And just like we're doing tonight, we're engaging with voters and volunteers all across the country. It does look a little different because you're not with somebody physically. We are following the president's guidelines. And the strength of our operation, this field program does come from the person-to-person interactions, but we're still able to do that here using the technology that we have. Again, like you said, this is what our campaign was built for.
That's absolutely great. And what are some of the ways that we're being able to do that? You mentioned some of that. Are we holding trainings online as well?
Yeah, still doing hundreds of the Trump Victory Leadership Initiative trainings around the country, that's our biggest way to get people motivated and involved. And our co-chair said this, but just because you go through a training or just because you're at home doesn't mean that you can't actually reach out to other voters. And you heard the 13 million number. That's one of the biggest ways that you can help our president's campaign right now is picking up, going through one of our Trump Victory Leadership Initiative trainings, and then begin calling your friends and neighbors, sharing the president's message, and helping us reelect President Trump in November.
That's great. And John, you were on the road as well, all across the country, help host these Trump Victory Leadership Initiative trainings when we were doing them in person. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like and maybe share some stories from the road?
Well, what's neat to see about this Army for Trump is this is really a movement to put America first. And the president will tell you, he's just leading this movement. He's leading a movement that stands for more jobs, more growth, and more opportunity for every American of every background. And I'll share one story from Wisconsin, Erin. This January, I was in Wisconsin doing a TVLI training, as Elliot mentioned. And after the training, it was a Latinos for Trump event training. This gentleman named Samuel came up to me and he showed me a picture from 2008 of him with Hillary Clinton at an event in Puerto Rico where he was from. And I had come to learn that Samuel was actually a field organizer for Hillary Clinton in 2008, but came over to this Republican Party because President Trump is a politician, not a politician, but in fact, a person that when he makes a promise, he keeps a promise. And Samuel was there training, getting involved with our field program because he knows that Donald Trump is putting America first and it's making a difference for every American in every corner of this country.
Wow, that's a great story. And you're right, John. We've always seen that we're able to bring Democrats, independents, and new voters into the fold for President Trump's America First message. John, I know you're doing a little bit of the online trainings too. What are those looking like for you nowadays?
Well, I mean, we all are, doing our part to defeat this virus by social distancing and following guidance from the president and our governors. But as Elliot mentioned, we have trainings every night. Just last night, I spoke with folks in North Carolina, and we were talking about the president's plan to reopen up America. And what better leader to lead this opening of our economy that for years has been tweeting jobs, 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 growth, not government. We know that with President Trump in the White House, America will create more jobs and we will grow again under this leadership. So in North Carolina, we were excited about the future for our country with President Trump leading the way. And we're also excited, as I learned in North Carolina, to formally nominate President Trump at the convention in Charlotte, North Carolina this August.
That's great. Thank you guys so much for this first part. We'll be right back after this short break.
Ready to go?
This is a crisis.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked a $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
Since the outbreak, the Communist Party has been mobilizing overseas organizations to buy local supplies and send them to China.
It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. What a beautiful history we wrote together. Banning all travel will not stop it.
Travel ban that he slapped on China, every doctor now acknowledges was the right move.
That was a very smart move right there.
Hysterical xenophobia. Fear mine. Xenophobia. I complimented him on dealing with China. I'm not going nuts.
Welcome back. Again, this is tonight's Army for Trump Digital Boot Camp, and I'm Erin Perrine. First, we gave you a digital update about where the campaign stands as we've moved completely virtual during the coronavirus outbreak here in the country. Now we're going to talk about ways that you at home can get involved and help us grow the Army for Trump to make sure that we can continue to get President Trump's message out there and fight the fake news narrative. John, we've seen now that Joe Biden is going to probably be the presumptive Democrat nominee. He's got a disastrous record. When you compare that with President Trump's, we see the contrast is clear. But John, what do you think is important for folks to be sharing about Joe Biden with their family and friends?
Well, Joe Biden has already committed and promised that he will raise taxes on middle class. I mean, he's said that full stop. Joe Biden will raise taxes. He's also fully embraced this idea of the Green New Deal, which will destroy American jobs, American energy, and will be a disastrous policy for the direction of our country. Joe Biden graciously, with open arms, accepted the endorsement of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, who Joe Biden said is the thought leader of the Democrats. And we know that Bernie stands for socialist policies, a promise of free college. We know that nothing's free, yet Biden continues to entice millennials and younger voters like myself of this illusion of free college. But most importantly, Joe Biden's record shows that he will not put America first like President Trump does every day. Joe Biden supported NAFTA. He supported TPP that destroyed American jobs and created an outflow of American industry. That's not the policies that help put America first. And you can bet President Trump is going to continue to fight to put America first every day. I mean, look at the contrast. President Trump halted funding to the WHO this week. Joe Biden would never do something like that. That's bold American leadership, showing that America's not a piggy bank, and it's Donald Trump who's showing the world that in America, we put America first.
That's right. The contrast could not be clearer between Joe Biden and President Trump. Joe Biden, a failed relic of the past with socialist policies at the helm, thanks to the thought leader Bernie Sanders, and President Trump remaining, as you said, John, with bold leadership and America First policies. Tommy, moving over to you. We want people to stay engaged with this campaign, but we need the resources to be able to continue to get the message out there for President Trump, to host trainings, and to continue to make sure that we keep America great. Tommy, can you tell me a little bit about the Trump Victory Program and how fundraising's going?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Trump Victory is very important. It does provide the campaign with the resources we need to reelect the president. And we are leaps and bounds ahead of the DNC and Joe Biden. And you know, we had another record quarter this Q1 of 2020, and we're sitting on $240 million of cash with no debt. So things are going really well. We need the resources to reelect the president, and things are going great.
That's fantastic. And we're doing something a little bit different in this campaign, something I don't think that's really been done before. We're opening the bundling program to more people. We want everybody to become part of helping bring in more resources. Can you tell us what a bundler is and how people can be involved in that program?
Yeah, absolutely. And as mentioned, there are two ways to get involved. You can work with Elliot's field team, or you can work with Kimberly Guilfoyle's bundling team. And she's done a great job. But being a bundler is another way to be a leader in your community. And what you do is you go out into your community and you raise the funds needed to provide resources to the campaign. And whether it's $1, $10, $40 at a time, it all adds up, and you can aggregate and become a leader in your community. And it's really easy to do.
That's fantastic. That's great to hear. And again, those resources are so vital to make sure that we can continue to be absolutely fighting every day for President Trump and Republicans all across the country. Elliot, Tommy touched on the Trump Victory Program a little bit, on bundling, but what are some other ways that folks can get involved and become and help grow the Army for Trump?
Yeah, look, everybody has a role to play in this campaign. We are, I think, going to be the largest presidential campaign in history. And you look at the awesome things that we're doing with adding a grassroots bundling program, something that has not been done before. But for those of you that might be looking for another way to get involved, we encourage you to go to armyfortrump.com. On there, you will find a lot of different ways to use your own skills and resources within your own community to help us. Whether it's to become a digital activist, to become a Trump team leader, to be able to register voters, to make calls from home. I think we have like 8 or 9 things on there. And again, that even still shouldn't limit somebody's willingness to get involved. Now, you can go on and sign up, and somebody will get in touch with you shortly. Again, Tommy mentioned this. We've seen close to 300,000 people sign up since March 13th. And that doesn't happen by chance. That happens because of the leadership of President Trump. And all of these people that are signing up, here's the thing, they're new volunteers. They're people that haven't done anything before. They went on to armyfortrump.com. They found something that they thought they could be good at, said that they wanted to get involved, and now they're playing a vital role in this campaign. And everybody watching this, they can do the same thing. You can go on there, find what you want to do, use your skills and resources, and start helping President Trump today.
That's so great. Even as we all remain apart, we stay together through the Army for Trump and through making sure we get President Trump's message out there. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today and for being part of this, sharing President Trump's message and how people can get involved. If you're interested in joining the Army for Trump, text ENLIST to 88022. Join the Army for Trump. Go online to armyfortrump.com. As Elliot mentioned, there are a lot of ways for you to get involved. If that's being a digital activist, you can find out more about the bundling program, how to make phone calls from your house, how to become a neighborhood team leader. Whatever the time is you have to give and whatever talent you can share with this campaign, President Trump needs his supporters now more than ever as we not only combat the coronavirus together, but fight to make America great. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Guys, I love spending time with you. It's so good to see your faces. And we look forward to joining you again 7 nights a week here with Team Trump Online. Everyone, have a great evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and together we're on to victory.